What's up, guys? Welcome into a very special The Good Brothers and Sports from the Couch combination episode. As you can see live on the screen right now, we are getting ready for another fantasy football draft. This should be a really good time. Last year, you joined us, and it was really fun how we got to do this together, and we're going to do this live. We are waiting for the good brother himself, Alex Mercado, to show up, and as that's going on, we should enjoy this. So we're about 45 seconds away. You're going to see a lot of live production as we're doing this because we're going to record a new episode of The Good Brothers. We got a lot of stuff to get into. We got to talk about the new Joker trailer. We got to talk about the new Star Wars trailer and everything in between that came out of D23. And it should be a good time. So we're 30 seconds away. Let's get this bad boy going. And you can hear, if you're listening to us and watching us live, you can hear the lovely Nicole Mancho walking in. Let's see how this goes. So we're about 15 seconds away. So we'll see how this plays out. All right. All right, so we had the first pick. Who went? So Saquon went 1, Kamara went 2. I'm pretty sure Christian McCaffrey's going to go right here. Let's see how this plays out. Everybody say hello to Nicole. Hi, Nicole. All right. Interesting how it's being played off already. All right. Good brother always running late. Always running on good brother time. Good brother Alex. And I'm going to get rid of the smack talk just to be safe. And don't want you guys seeing some of the people I have to see. They're nonsense. So in my A-League draft, I had the second overall pick, and I picked Christian McCaffrey. Was pretty happy about what I have. The A-League is the one, if you follow me all over social media, you can see it's the one that has the big main championship belts. It has the most money. This is much more of a money league only. But I really enjoy this league. This is the league that I lost in the championship round to last season in the final game of the Sunday night matchup with Seattle. So this is a league that definitely is near and dear to my heart, and I'm hoping I can pull out a W. But we are live, and it's time for us to draft. And with the number 9 overall pick, I think we're going to go with Davante Adams. I think him coming with Aaron Rodgers, he's one of the most reliable wide receivers in the league, and I'm really fascinated to see how Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur mesh together as quarterback and coach, but Davante Adams is one of those guys, so this time coming around, it's going to be interesting. We can go down the route at pick 16 of maybe going Travis Kelce. I think that's where I would want to go with at this point, and We'll see. I have to kind of keep the smack talk up so that way I could see who got drafted. Le'Veon Bell went. All right, Michael Thomas went. You're going to see something really trippy for a second, so let's see. Yeah, I think we should be good, right? You guys shouldn't be seeing. Yeah, okay, cool. You guys don't have to see any of that smack talk from these jerks. Here, and just to be safe, you guys don't need to see ignorance like that. All right. And Juju Smith and Julio Jones went. Travis Kelce went, so that's the guy I wanted. All right, so this time around, Let's take a quick look at running backs. Let's see who's around. Dalvin Cook, Damian Jones, Aaron Jones. See, I don't like any of these guys for the value that we'd be picking at. Opposed to if we go wide receiver, right, and we get the best at the position. Like, I'm interested in Odell, Tyreek, obviously. But we'll see what Rasmo goes with. And he went with Dalvin Cook, so he made the choice for us, I guess, on that one. We could go Joe Mixon with Cincinnati. I don't really like Cincinnati's offense. Tyreek Hill, obviously, is going to be the main guy there. I think I would just go with Odell Beckham. And let's see what the injury news is. Yeah, so he's ready to go. I'm going to go with Odell Beckham. So I want to go with, we have two legit awesome wide receivers starting off our league. And, on the come up, we're going to just go running back heavy, and we'll just start getting depth in that position. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful time. I hope your leagues are going very well as well. And you can see us. You're seeing a little bit behind the scene how this works. You could see that's how this magic is done right here. The production world. Cheers, some tea. So, Dalvin Cook, Odell Beckham are off the board. Joe Mixon is now off the board. So over the next, just so you know exactly what's going to happen production-wise behind the scenes, we're going to go off camera and we're going to start recording an episode of The Good Brothers. So as we're going on, we'll be discussing some of the major news that's been going around in pop culture and entertainment. And then when our pick comes up, no matter what we're in the middle of talking of, we're going to stop the show and we're going to talk about that pick and where we're at for those 2 minutes. And it's going to be really fun. So Let's get ready for that. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up the notes because I don't think you guys all want to see the notes opposed to the fantasy draft when we get there. So you're looking at a live reaction to everything that's going on here. So we got an episode of The Good Brothers coming up, and I got to get the notes up for that. All right. So that should be interesting to go. All right, give me 1 second. All right, 14 picks. That's the beauty of getting these drafts in right when you're in the middle is you have a long time in between it. So Aaron Jones was just picked up, by the way. All right, so let's see. So I guess while we're waiting, I could give you a little bit of a preview of my other team that we had. So I have not put anybody up yet, but so you can see my team right here. Christian McCaffrey, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Kenny Golladay, Phillip Lindsay, Aaron Rodgers, Kenyon Drake, Jalen Samuels, Peyton Barber, Jerick McKinnon, David Njoku, Nyheim Hines, and Lamar Jackson are on the squad as well as my kicker, Michael Bagley, and the Seattle defense. I actually really like my A-League team. I've been trying to go under the notion of just depth and as much mobility as I can have. And, that's kind of been the big thing for me when it comes to drafting this team. So off the board now, Aaron Jones, Damian Williams, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, and Todd Gurley. So on the come down, I'm really interested in, obviously, David Montgomery being a Chicago Bear. Go Bears. Derrick Henry, I really don't like Tennessee's offense. I don't know what to expect of them, whether it's Ryan Tannehill or Marcus Mariota, so I don't think much good things are going to come from that. Devontae Freeman, obviously, with Atlanta. Be interesting to see how that offense plays out. And I think Kerryon Johnson's really the one that I have my eye on. I would love it if Jeff, this is who Arturo Mendez is, our Uncle Jeff, shout out to Uncle Jeff. We'll see where he goes with, and that's who he went with, Kerryon Johnson. He has Kerryon Johnson in A-League, so I think he's doing that more along the lines of trying to keep things simple for him when it comes to matchups. See, so down here, he'd probably go David Montgomery if I had to guess. Well, he went Antonio Brown. Very, very interesting. So an interesting story about Jeff, who is Arturo Mendez, that's his name in B-League. He drafted Ezekiel Elliott in our A-League live draft, and that's going to be an interesting order for him to go through because of the contract situation. Now, behind that offensive line, obviously, it should work out, but there's no guarantees that he's going to play. So if he's not playing, you can't get fantasy points. It doesn't matter how good he should be. Off the board now is Keenan Allen and Adam Thielen. Now Devontae Freeman. So on this way down, let's see. There's a few ways you could go here. And, I mean, Melvin Gordon being hurt and having to deal with the contract situation. So Greg Kittle just went off the board. Amari Cooper just went off the board. Yeah, I don't love this positioning that we're in when it comes to running backs now. Zach Ertz was actually the one that I was thinking about trying to get at this point, but that's already passed by. So, again, here we go. So, we're up right now. Let's take a quick look at wide receivers. I mean, I don't love anybody here at this pick. I guess you just go running back one more time. And at this one, I would probably go either Marlon Mack or Chris Carson. But I guess we could go a little off the board and just go David Montgomery and see if the Chicago Bears and a rookie pay off. All right. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes going here was going Melvin Gordon. Marlon Mack. All right, guys, we'll be right back. All righty, kids, I am back. So where we left off? Marlon Mack went off the board, and so did Mark Ingram. So I'll be honest with you, my plan on the other way around is pick up another running back, and then maybe go with quarterback, a high end quarterback. We'll see what ends up right here. There is one guy I really like coming up, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. All right. This guy who's picking up right now always just seems to go after the guy I want to. He's always been just a thorn to my side. Rasmo, every time I've ever drafted near him, he's just screwed me over. And I'll let you know if it happens right here. Let's see where he goes. No, he went Robert Woods. Okay. I thought he was going to go another direction. Let's see. Yeah, I like Chris Carson. Pick up one more running back. Let's solidify that. Now, I'm going to look at quarterbacks really fast. Let's put Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield. Let's see. Let's see. Drew Brees will always be an interesting one. Cam Newton will be interesting just to see how that plays out with the injury. But now I guess we need to go wide receivers. This is where I would go wide receiver. I like Kenny Golladay. I like T.Y. is all right if you're picking him in the right spot, you know? Like if he's falling to you in the right situation, that's somebody who I like, you know? So that's where we are right now. And we're a little bit far behind when it comes to some of these squads. And here's the thing. Some of these guys are going to take their time. So it's definitely that fun of doing this. So we'll see. Good brother finally decided to come on upstairs. So we'll see if he'll walk in, how loud and obnoxious he is. All right, guys, give me 1 second. Got to open the door for the good brother. So off the board is now Julian Edelman, Tyler Lockett, and Mike Williams. All guys I kind of had high on my draft board. But on this time around, I want to know your guys' opinion down here. How early do you go on certain rushes? So we always know that there's a QB rush that happens or that there's a tight end rush that happens. And are you one of these type of teams that goes down that rabbit hole? Do you get scared? Do you get panicky? Or do you just kind of go with the trend? Do you go with that flow? Do you not go against that current, you know? I think that's really important for a lot of people to be able to distinguish when they're doing this. And it's been scientifically and numerically proven that a lot of fantasy football is luck. It's just look at the draw. Now, where the talent comes in is understanding certain matchups and who you should be playing, when you should be playing them. But without a shadow of a doubt, like a lot of this is luck. And if you get healthy guys at the time and what you're able to do at certain weeks and how lucky you are certain weeks. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the next 2 draft picks, and we're going to go ahead and shut this bad boy down. We've had some scheduling issues over the last few minutes, so we'll only do a few more minutes of this one, and then we got to get business to something else. So you guys just want to stick around for a few more minutes. Brandon Cooks and Cooper Kupp are off the board. It's interesting when you see 2 receivers from the same team go back-to-back. Like, who's going to get the receptions? Now, there's plenty of passes to go around, but it's about volume. It's about how much of your player is getting the ball. How often is the ball being directed their way? And that's always the most interesting thing about doing a draft like this is when you're seeing so many dominant teams. Like, for example, you see Philadelphia. Philadelphia has like 5 running backs. So it's hard to go down the rabbit hole to know exactly who you should go for. Here's a little trick, though, especially when it comes to running backs. If you're not quite sure, who are they spending money on? Who do they bring in? Who do they draft? Those little combinations are things that will help you along the line. So if you're looking at a team like the Bears, they spent a big draft pick getting David Montgomery. So you would assume that at that moment that's who they're going after, that's who they want to focus on the offense. And then if you see another team come on in and it's just really interesting when you see a team that goes so hard one way. We saw with Chris Johnson all those years with Tennessee. All right, here we are. We are still about 8 picks away from where we're landing up in. So we'll see. We have auto drafters. And walking into the studio after a little mechanical issue is good brother himself, Alex Mercado. Alex, make sure your microphone is on and say hi to the folks. As he's walking in. Go ahead.
Is it on?
I can't hear you.
Am I live?
Yes, you are live.
Welcome to another episode of The Good Brothers. I am taking over because Mike, what do we name our team this year?
We are still Wakanda's Forever, but we will be figuring out a name.
Yeah, I am taking over because we are going to do something a little fun. We are going to do a Good Brother draft special, seeing as this is me and Mike's team, and we are closer than ever to reaching our goal of being the only defending champions in the league. Mike, how are we doing so far?
So if you want a rundown for all you who have been joining us live on YouTube right now through the video, thank you guys for joining us, and we really appreciated you making us a part of your day. So far, with the 9th overall pick, we have had Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham Jr., David Montgomery, and Chris Carson are on Wakanda's Most Wanted. We are waiting for pick 57 as we are currently recording this episode of The Good Brothers / Sports from the Couch, a major crossover event like the esque of Marvel and Sony.
Crossover? I think so. A little BoJack and peanut butter for you right there.
Now, let me ask you this before we get into all the craziness, because for everybody who is now joining us on the Good Brothers section of this episode, we have a lot to get into. We are talking about trailers from The Joker, from Star Wars. We're talking about D23, and it's a jam-packed week. So before we get into all that, Good Brother, what did you watch? What did you do this past weekend? Normally we go to the box office. It was a slow box office week.
Yeah, it's dying before it comes out.
So before, I don't want to take everybody's time for that since we're doing all this craziness in the studio.
Yeah.
Why don't we just get into some chitter-chatter? What did you do this past weekend? And did you watch anything? Did you see anything?
Man, what did I watch this weekend? I've been watching Hard Knocks a lot, so I'm caught up on Hard Knocks, which I love Hard Knocks. Basically, how I do all my drafts is who's Hard Knocks that season, and so far it's worked out the last 2 years. So I'm hoping grabbing the rookie running back out of Oakland is going to help me out, and Derek Carr in the bench next to Baker Mayfield, the most frat team I could ever have picked. There can be only one frat boy, people.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of that, a little bit of all or nothing, catching up on the past seasons, anything football related, basically.
Getting into
a
the
little
mood.
Florida, Miami.
That and it's pretty. That game was really. I mean, it wasn't a great game, but it was fun to have real.
It's a good
football
opener
back.
to have like a nail biter game.
To have
like,
and just to have that spirit back is always just so nice. Now, good brother, why don't we go into how about this? We're gonna go into D23 first because honestly, there's a lot of news that came from it, and more than anything, this show really. The love and the nerd juices are going to be more based off of the trailers, the 3 trailers that we had over the last, let's say, 72 hours.
Yeah.
So let's go down to Anaheim, California, where D23 and Mickey Mouse hosted thousands of people as this big convention came along. And I'm going to run down a few names, and you tell me when to stop when something catches your attention, okay?
Gotcha.
Lizzie McGuire sequel series announced.
I'm not, again, me personally, it's kind of like the Little Mermaid Aladdin where like, I guess that wasn't my movie as a young boy, but I'm not going to deny Lizzie McGuire wasn't huge. Like, I think every girl born between 1988 and forward is probably a huge, you know what I mean? Anyone that's around 30s, like our age, I think is a huge Lizzie McGuire fan. So to see her as an adult kind of could be fun, I think.
Right.
I think that goes into our whole point of doing this is they did such a good job giving everyone a little something. Like, it's like sports almost, where it's like you don't have to be a fan of baseball to appreciate all sports. Like, there's something for you that maybe MMA is more your side, or golf, or football. I think Disney did that, where they're like, you don't like superheroes, we're going to give you more. You like the old school Disney, we're going to give you some spinoff. You like anime, we got that. You want Star Wars, we got you. Like, they gave everyone. You just like good TV, we got you. You like blockbuster movies, we got a ton. Like, they gave everyone. Like, if you're not getting Disney Plus, I really don't. You must not watch TV then,
Right?
Because I don't know what more they can do for you.
And we want to add this right now because we're not going to have a lot of time to get into it. Maybe we'll make this a episode when it's slower day in the news. We have found out that most of the series, at the very least, are going to be coming out weekly, so they're going to definitely go down that route.
We can talk about that more when they kick off
out.
the actual
All right.
series.
Here's something near and dear to my heart: High School Musical. The musical, the series, is coming out,
trippy.
and it's really cool. I remember, and what's interesting is I was telling Nicole this because she wanted to watch The Descendants and 1, 2, and 3, and I just remember saying, like, we never been a big Disney Channel family.
Again, that was a little bit past you with Descendants. I think.
Descendants, yeah, but High School Musical. I was a freshman when that movie came out.
I graduated the year they graduated.
Yeah, so it just fell right into my love affair of it, and it's interesting that it's definitely just a new cast. The cast that came from the original High School Musical is a little famous now, so it's hard to get them all back. Yeah. So they're going down a new route, but I love what they're doing there.
Like reality, not reality. They try that a lot, like with 90210 and The Hills now, and it's like 50-50 because I know The Hills reboot people love because it's the same. I know the 90210 thing, people really were confused that they're characters, but they're the actors, but they're portraying. It's very odd of where the line is divided, I feel like.
We are on the clock.
What do we got?
We are at pick 57, and off the board is O.J. Howard, Kenny Galladay, Tyler Boyd, Alshon Jeffrey, and Ty Hilton. I think it's time we bring out Aaron Rodgers, who is going to have a 6th season.
Who else we got quarterback-wise? Who else?
We don't have who's left at quarterback?
On the board? Deshaun Watson up there?
Deshaun Watson.
Grab Deshaun Watson.
Oh, no, Deshaun Watson's gone.
Ah, really?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is...
So, there's no Deshaun, no Patrick Mahomes, I'm assuming?
No. Yeah, but Mahomes went way too early. I would go... to me, Aaron Rodgers is the second best quarterback in the league.
Who do we have so far? One more time for me.
Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham Jr., David Montgomery, and Chris Carson.
So we got a nice starters right there.
Yeah, finish.
Who's the number one running back left? Just name them off for me.
We got 30 seconds. Miles Sanders, Tevin Coleman,
Aaron
Johnson.
Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers at this point. That's fine. We picked what we needed to. Go Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Throw the nice starting 5 out there.
Well, and for all those who are joining us on the Good Brothers episode, if you were listening to the live edition of Sports from the Couch on YouTube, just so you know, my strategy this year has definitely been just go running back heavy because it seems like we're going to be able to pick a lot of waiver wire wide receivers. And as long as Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Odell Beckham Jr. are good, that means that we really should be running back heavy because the wide receivers are going to get theirs.
I think it's odd because you picked a team where the receivers are our better picks right now.
Right now, yeah, because of where we are at ninth. So we didn't get a chance.
That's weird. Like, so you're going to try to depth up that running back?
At that point, and that's what I did with A-League. I was explaining to a lot of our fans here. This is my A-League team. Christian McCaffrey, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Kenny Galladay, Phillip Lindsay, Aaron Rodgers, Kenyon Drake, Jalen Samuels, Peyton Barber, Jerick McKinnon, David Njoku, Nyheim Hines, and Lamar Jackson. So basically, I only have 3 wide receivers, but I have either ones or high twos at my running back and 2 really good quarterbacks.
It's crazy because I go the opposite. I go super receiver heavy as either options, but I have a flex league also. So that
we're not a flex, so for us it's much more
to get another receiver in there. Running backs, if you don't get a good running back in that first 24 picks, at that point you either take someone who's going to get touches, a rookie, I believe, or a good backup is going to start getting played. Like Derrick Henry at the time when you knew he was about to get more touches.
So just to let you know, at pick 64, I'm really interested in Phillip Lindsay from Denver at running back.
Okay. Wait, no, I can get it on my phone, too. I don't know why I'm not looking at it right now, Mike.
Can you have access at the draft, too?
Yeah, I have access to the draft.
So, continuing on, for all you sports fans.
Descendants musical looks great.
Awesome. Let's go on to what else Disney Plus has. Forky, ask a question. Monsters at Work. Marvel's What If. Marvel's Loki. WandaVision. Marvel's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So a lot of these we've heard already, but these were just more confirmations, and they gave us a lot more detail of what we're looking at heading into the series. So I'm really fascinated to see that. But you ready for the big ones, good brother? Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Moon Knight, baby.
I think it's funny. I think Moon Knight's big. I think the other stories are better. Like I think Forky is going to be hilarious. I think WandaVision, the fact that it's going to lead into Doctor Strange in the multiverse, is very interesting, and they already came out that it's going to be
like a romantic comedy sitcom.
Yeah, a sitcom. There, that's what I was going to. It's going to be a sitcom. So I'm very interested to see what Paul Bentley and Olsen do in a sitcom.
Yeah.
I do love She-Hulk. Anything with Hulk's great. Miss Marvel, our first, I believe, Muslim, Pakistani, superhero.
And her power is like her arm gets really big.
I don't really know. I don't know much.
She's
very new. Yeah. She's very, very, very modern. Only not even 10 years old yet. So in comics, that's very new to get a series. That's good. Obviously, she's making waves. And Moon Knight. So Moon Knight is very interesting because the great John Schnepp always said Moon Knight would be huge, and he's a very dark, multi-personality, Rorschach kind of character.
And shout out to Robert Meyer Burnett for all you internet nerds watching us either for the first time on a sports edition of this or on the podcast, The Good Brothers. He's another good nerd if you're ever looking for those obscure stuff. But he's a big Moon Knight fan, so if you're ever really curious about that character, just kind of look up Robert Meyer Burnett and his Moonlight tirades. But you were talking about, good brother, the potential for this character. Now, what about the fact that we learned that Disney Plus will not be rated R? And that Moon Knight is a very hard R character in the comic books, mind you. So, do you think that there's going to be a nice maturation between the two?
I think so.
We're on the clock. Phillip Lindsay?
Who else we got? Give me another option.
Miles Sanders, Duke Johnson, James White, Phillip Lindsay.
You don't like Duke Johnson?
I mean, he's the one in Houston now that Lamar Miller is out. So that you have to take that into consideration. To me, I think Phillip Lindsay came out of nowhere last season, and I think he's a really strong running back. He's a number 1. He plays at Mile High.
I'll go with it.
You want to go Phillip Lindsay?
And for those of you who don't know, when me and Mike share a team, we kind of take a GM coach role where Mike does get I trust him 99% of the time for draft picks. And he kind of trusts me on a day-to-day operation of like, well, I like this matchup better because I get to watch a little bit more. Because Mike gets to watch every sport. I only have to watch this, and I can do a lot of fantasy watch on this. So Mike does give me a lot of the final say when we set the roster that week. So if I say, hey, I want to sit Odell, he might give me that. Yeah,
especially
he might, and that usually has worked out well for us. So I'm always going to go to him on the picks. He might go to me on between these two guys. Who do you like? And I can go in. So that's kind of hard.
What we're lucky is we generally have the same idea for the lineup for that given week. For me, I'm a very...
This team has never done bad.
No, not yet.
This team's always done good, almost winning.
Yeah.
So us, separate for some reason. We can't always get it together, but together it's usually pretty simple.
And keeping it together with these what-ifs, with Marvel's team-ups now that they're doing on there. I see what you did with that. I'm really interested to see how they do with Moon Knight. So continue on what you were talking, though, about this.
So, it's going to be a test of what you're going to do with Deadpool and Wolverine. I think the DC universe has kind of shown us that you can do a nice violent show without being rated R. Like I think Arrow did a good job of that, and Supernatural's done a good job where you get a lot of decent blood. Like there's only remember people, violence isn't what makes rated R sometimes. It's usually language or nudity. That's the trick right there. So you can, like, all these HBO shows, half of them are rated R's because of nudity.
Right.
And, like, the language.
And how hard the language
like,
goes.
it's not really violence. We're a very violent, open country where, you know, good or bad, that's a different subject. But that's not usually what drives the hard R. It's usually language and nudity, which, again, we're the country that boobs, no, that's R. Stabbing a man and cutting him in half. Yeah, we could probably get that TV-14.
RoboCop getting blown up before it becomes
Right.
RoboCop. Cool.
We could probably be PG-13.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a good test to see how they can do, because if they nail it, they're going to invent a whole new style of rating, I think, where it's a Disney hard and how far to go, because Mandalorian looks crazy.
And we'll get to that
and
in a little bit.
violent.
Yeah.
And so are the Star Wars movies. Like, there's a lot. Avengers has a lot of blood and a lot of great action, so I'm not worried about it. I'm interested. And at the end of the day, if they need to go harder R, they can be like, hey, it didn't work out. You know, Deadpool, that's going to be our first R. We're going to go for it there and make an adult section. Like, this is very new. So nothing's set in stone. They can go a year and be like, we're going to make an R section. We're like, people want it. We're going to make a section where you have to log in differently, or there's a parental guidance, and this is where we're going to put a lot of our more adult themed stuff.
Shout out to John Campea. This is a great distinction. There's a difference between family safe and family friendly.
Yep.
And I don't know what Disney is supposed to be family friendly. That's why we have Buena Vista.
Family safe,
But family safe, yeah. Family friendly will be like, here's Disney Plus. Also, here's a little section that says rated R. Which means, like, hey, you know, we have this section for the kids that goes, you know, PG, G, kids, but it gives you access, parental controls. That is, WWE is considered family friendly.
Yeah.
It's not, it may not be family safe.
Exactly.
But it's family
and
friendly.
not 100%, but most of it. You know what?
Right.
Yeah, I think
so.
we get it.
Continue on. Speaking of very family friendly and family
Deadpool.
safe, and made me very happy. Lady and the Tramp poster coming out.
Yeah.
It looked very cute. It looks very charming.
These are movies that I'm glad I don't have to pay for.
Yes.
Because then I
Yes.
can just sit home one day on a Wednesday night and
Absolutely.
be like, man, you know, that movie looks
Great point.
really good. Let
Great
me check
point.
this Lady and the Tramp out. That's something you can watch with your lady friends, you know, or even children, like
Whoever.
It's
Yeah.
or even by yourself, just to see how they do these. I love, obviously, Disney's king of the talking animals.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. They already cutting off the racist cats, which is great.
I
It's
totally
like
forgot
a-
about the racist cats.
It's like a better version.
Totally
Like,
forgot
I
about the
can't
racist
wait. I
cats,
think it's
yeah.
going to be great. Lady and the Tramp's never been the biggest movie. It's more, I think, an iconic scene around a movie.
Yeah.
And with
yeah.
dog, obviously, like, it's more of a good picture.
Speaking
just
of great
like
pictures.
Tinkerbell, you know, like, she's not really all of Peter Pan, but she's the most known because of the way
Right.
it looks and Disney and all that.
And then you just mentioned it a little bit. Speaking of looks, Lady and the Tramp looks so cute, but on the other end, we got Cruella de Vil, Emma Stone with her, with her first picture.
And her grunts. I don't
Yeah.
know their names,
Yeah,
obviously,
but
but yeah,
it looks good.
They look just
Yeah.
like the cartoon,
Yeah.
but brought to life. She's an Oscar-winning, multi-Oscar nominated actress, so like you really
Like
can't do
adult-
any better.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, you
Glenn
couldn't
Close
sign a
was
bigger
amazing
name
too, though, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you've only, and she's the best part of those movies.
Yeah,
Like
oh,
without
for
her in those
sure.
movies,
Yeah.
you totally forget about them.
For sure.
But at least you know she played the role right. So I think that's a great character. I think Emma Stone's great. I love her. Probably one of our first crushes.
Yeah,
Back
especially
in the,
from
Easy A,
Superbad
or
and
Easy
yeah,
A.
for
Yeah,
me-
Superbad.
For me, it was Superbad. Yeah,
yeah,
'cause that's
one
my
of those
first-
like
yeah.
Zombieland. Like,
Zombieland is a great
Bonito.
call. Yeah. So continue on a little bit. How about another cool one? Muppets Now. We love the Muppets.
I love
in this
the
one. Yeah, we love
Muppets.
the Muppets here. We love Star Wars. Star Wars: The Clone Wars coming back for another season. And
Fun.
our guy, Rogue One, gets a series, and he gets Diego
Cassian
Luna
Andor.
is going to be the main lead in
Yeah.
it. So he goes from Narcos to going to be back to being
Because he's got another season of Narcos too, so that's very interesting.
yeah, and I was looking at which one I have. I have Poe
You
Dameron,
have Poe. You have the
another
other
great
one.
Latino.
You have
that
Oscar Isaac.
I have
Yeah,
Oscar
yeah.
Isaac.
I have Diego
Yeah.
Luna.
Speaking of that, did you see? I went to, for all you who are listeners, I went to the Wizard World Chicago. I finally found the Michael Jordan pop figure that I've been looking for.
That is the one you've been looking for. I think on the show you mentioned it like a year ago.
So I finally found it there at the.
There you
Find
go,
everything
man.
at Comic Con. Next year we're taking.
You got to pick your pops wisely. You know, you
Yeah,
can't. If
absolutely.
you get trapped down a hole of buying too many of them, you need a room from them.
You're telling me.
I'm gonna bring all my stuff here, by the way, Mike. Just so you know.
The worst kept secret. Obi-Wan Kenobi officially with Ewan McGregor.
Okay, so I want to start with this. How do you feel about it being spoiled by a major company? You're a smart man. I want to hear your response because I have an opinion, and I think you're the same opinion as me. What do you feel about it being leaked?
You know what? I wish we can have that suspense of disbelief and whatnot, but it's part of the game. I mean, it's just part of what it was.
If we got that scoop, we would have
posted it. Yeah,
I mean, that's a scoop.
Yeah,
that's their job. Our job is to be like, hey, I heard Mike said Godzilla. At the end of the day, the world's gonna end. That's how our game started. Turn out to be right. That's like what we do. We need to guess this stuff. And like you said, the fan in me does want to be like, oh, I want to see surprise on this. But as a person in the industry, we have to be aware that scoop. That's a good scoop. Yeah. Like you need to report that because if you don't, someone else will. And so at the end of the day, you rather have your finger on the pulse and on the trigger than not, I believe. So I have no problem with it being posted. I have no problem with it getting out. Obviously, yes, I wish it was surprised, but at the end of the day, as long as we're getting it, it's on Disney Plus. We're getting about 6 to 10 episodes. Those are the range in there. That usually means a hard 8 unless it's really good, a hard 10. I'm excited. I love Obi-Wan. He's the best part of the prequels. I think we'll get a little Qui-Gon. We might get Vader. We might get Darth Maul. Like, it's fun. Like, this is a great news. We've been waiting years for it after he got announced to do the movie. Solo bombs. They cancel all those movies. They have a good relationship with Ewan.
Ewan McGregor. Yeah.
Ewan, they have a great relationship. He's TV gold. He's an Emmy-nominated winning actor from Fargo. I'm excited.
And it goes to show, too, that they do have their finger on the pulse of what the fans want. It's just all about timing and getting the production along the way. And we are 2 picks away from our next pick. Right, we are 1 pick away. So I am thinking either Darius Geis from Washington, the rookie running back, or the second-year running back. But
part of sophomore year.
Yeah. Or Tariq Cohen.
I like Tariq. We don't have a flex, though, do we?
No. So he would, and we do have David Montgomery. Cohen. We do have David Montgomery, so we do have that option because they're both going to be used, but we do have that option. If one gets hurt, he gets plugged in right away.
Cohen.
We could go Tariq Cohen.
I like it.
I think we go Tariq Cohen, and if Darius Geis falls to us at 88, we go with him.
Yeah,
then too.
Of course. Yeah.
And then the next at round 9, we go one more wide receiver.
Agreed.
Just to get help, just to get one more body in there.
We got 3 right now.
No, just 2. Devontae Adams and Odell Beckham Jr.
You're risky. I like.
But here's the thing, though.
I respect your balls, but that's risky. You're dropping that low receiver. Tariq Cohen. Yeah.
I'd rather drop a running back and get a wide receiver that we could have a flyer on any given week. Because here's the thing. Drew Brees is not always going to just throw it to Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
So I feel like
I know there's a lot of good guys under there. It's just, like I said, I appreciate your risk-taking because I do the reverse where I'll grab a decent rookie running back later and let me stack up maybe 4 good receivers. One, because last year it helped me because I got to trade one. And I ended up getting Connor for it, and I traded away one of my 4 receivers, and it didn't damage me.
See, I live under the assumption there's going to be 4 wide receivers and 4 running backs that are currently on the waiver that nobody's drafting that will be big. So the point is, you just got to hope
Who's left receiver-wise? Hopefully none of our stupid friends
I can tell you right
listening.
now. Give me a second.
Hey, don't listen, stupid Jeff, if you're listening. Stop listening.
Calvin Ridley from Atlanta. Corey, he just got drafted.
Damn it!
So what I would do then is I would wait for Dante Moncrief, who's the new number 2 from Pittsburgh.
Possible, and you got to think Juju's going to get covered like crazy. Moncrief might get a lot of touches. He's got a nice track record.
I would put Geis, the running back, as the next pick, and
he won't drop.
And gamble for Moncrief to hopefully just drop to us the next way around. Because Moncrief still has Marquez Valdez-Scantling ahead of him, Marvin Jones Jr., Sterling Shepard, Larry Fitzgerald, Corey Davis. Here, for all you watching, introduce yourself to the good brother. So these are the wide receivers that we have left, that are left to be picked. And then these would be the running backs that are left being picked.
There's some good ones. All right.
I just feel like I feel like the chances of hitting on a wide receiver later are greater than trying to hit on a running back later.
I'm gonna take you. I mean, at this point, yeah. At
this point, we're already down that route.
I mean, you do have 2 of the best wide receivers, and I'm also a big component of build your starting strong.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have more success than building an overall good team. Because I don't like people that like go very mediocre, but overall. Because then I'm like, you only can play 2 of them though.
Yeah.
So what's the point of having 3 mediocre? I'd rather have a superstar. You know what I mean? Like I think you did that with receiver where the 2 we have should put up obnoxious numbers
to help us wherever.
And we shouldn't only have to worry about maybe once a week on bye week or praying no injuries that we're like, okay, well, he'll play this weekend. Moncrief is good enough, or Jones Jr. is good enough, or Sanu. Like these random number twos and possible threes, or rookies even. Never doubt a good rookie, like trying to get on a fresh season. Look at McCaffrey. Like, if you known that was going to happen, that he was going to be such a big threat, you wouldn't have predicted it.
And I think it's just really important to just make sure your depth is in the right position more than anything. And you make a great point of just being top heavy when you can be. And speaking of top heavy, just what Disney Plus is giving us with all of these bangers with Marvel and with Star Wars, and then the announcement with Ewan McGregor. You and I were talking about, the scoop has to happen, but like to have him back is great. But then we get the Mandalorian. And this is special. I know that Ewan McGregor thing is very special, but we're about a minute away from a next draft pick. So let me finish off this good brother, and then we'll go to the pick, and then we'll get into you. My big thing about the Mandalorian is the potential of what Jon Favreau and the rest of this team has. I think we've kind of jumped the shark with Boba Fett and the Mandalorians in general. I think we've tried too hard, at least creators have, to make this the badass character we've always wanted. But with that being said, it is a badass character.
It's got potential.
It's got all the right ingredients to make a dope-ass cake. And I think that's what we might have here. And the fact is this has to hit. Disney Plus is strictly being based off of the launch of The Mandalorian. So to me, all that being put together, it was a strong presentation. A lot of what they've showed us has been strong. And honestly, I think it's under the right hands. But we are on the clock now, and left is Darius Geis, or we go Dante Moncrief.
Who's the number one? Who do they say is the number one receiver left?
They say the number one receiver left.
I like to see this. Who do they say it is?
Would be Corey Davis from Tennessee, and I do not trust Marcus Mariota or Ryan Tannehill.
Unless you're Delaney Walker, he ain't throwing that far.
And let me ask you this. I like Larry Fitzgerald if he drops maybe another round or two.
No, that's
because of Kyler Murray, Marvin Jones Jr. is the number 2 to Kenny Galladay and Matthew Stafford.
And I've almost done Matthew Stafford.
And then obviously Marquez Valdez.
There's no one that stands out. Let's go heavy, I guess.
All right, so let's go David Geis.
If anything, hopefully we can make some trades maybe.
And then on the next come around, we're going to go wide receiver.
You might need to do receiver.
Right, I think we're going to go wide receiver.
Do we have a tight end?
Yeah, no. I was going to say we're going tight end, wide receiver.
Well, I'm a tight end guru, man.
Yeah, so we'll see who's around.
That. I've always got a good feeling about tight ends all year.
Well, I think we might be going through we're going to go through a tight end rush right now, but we'll see how that plays out.
But that's okay. I know some good sleepers in there.
So the Mandalorian, good brother, you heard my thoughts on it. You know how much I'm excited about this.
People are hyping this up as possibly their Game of Thrones, their Breaking Bad, like their series that's going to, not only for Star Wars, but Disney Plus, are going to be our drama 1-hour series weekly. Our Handmaid's Tale. This is our show. Obviously, Netflix doesn't have a weekly show yet, but our weekly show that people are going to be talking about. Not just Star Wars fans, not just TV fans. This is going to bring everyone together.
Right.
And that's a strong possibility. Star Wars is already pretty big, obviously, money-wise. I don't think everyone knows enough of it. But I think if this show is more of a great show inside a Star Wars universe, we're going to get a bigger audience. You know what I mean? I think this might be the show that our family's talking about because it's everywhere. Almost like The Boys, where it's so big that it doesn't matter if you don't like superheroes, you're talking about it now. And I think this is where we might get that.
Now, are you nervous at all about the exposure that we have been getting for this show, that maybe they just don't have their finger on the pulse of what makes a cool Boba Fett thing?
No. Because, he looks like Boba Fett, but he's not
Boba Fett. Yeah.
It's a league, and I think this is the best way to do it, is be like, we're not going to show you Boba Fett, but you like the helmet, you like the theory of it, we're going to show you that part of it.
Right.
That not necessarily you think you wanted, but I know you'll like. And I think that's great. And Jon Favreau has never made a bad movie. Like, all his movies are good to perfection.
Sure.
So I'm not worried about that, especially all his original writing stuff where, like, obviously The Lion King was the one he had to do the most shot for shot.
Yeah.
And artist respects artists. Like, I think it's dope. I like the movie. I think it's the same movie, though. But, like, the changes he made to The Jungle Book were great. Like, his changes were amazing. And the Chef, great movie. Like, everything he's written, was it Boogie Nights?
No, Swingers.
Swingers. Everything he writes is very, very, very good.
Right.
His Iron Mans are good. I like Iron Man 2. I really don't mind Iron Man 2 personally. I think there's a lot of good stuff. Like
it's the weaker of the three.
Of course it's the weaker of the three, but I think his writing isn't an issue with the movie. I think it's more the studio getting... I think the studio getting involved is more the issue. They tried
Okay.
doing too much.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind Mickey Rourke. I think that it's just he's wanted a
lose. Lose.
I think like what's his name? Hammer.
Oh, how are we forgetting Oscar winning? We'll come to it.
Yeah, Hammer.
Yeah.
From Hammer Tech, I think he's the best part of it. And I think the writing's great, and they introduced Black Widow really well into it. And this is the base of the first movie of, we're going to introduce multiple people to this universe. And he does that. So he had a lot to take
Sam
in.
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell, there you go. Oscar-winning, Oscar-nominated a billion times.
Yeah.
Sam Rockwell.
One of the greatest ever. Yeah, Sam
So
Rockwell.
he's great. He's a good character. I like the movie, and I think the writing's a strong part. I think the problem is they try fitting too much into it.
Sure.
Which is almost the Age of Ultron problem, where you're like, it's just too much. I didn't need all that. But I enjoy it nonetheless.
And I think it's really, at the very least, though, I think it's in good hands. You do see, it does seem like it's a passion project. So before we get into the next subject,
He's a Star Wars character, technically.
yeah,
Remember, he's in Solo.
Yeah,
He's the voice
yeah.
of that, one of the more fun characters in it.
Yeah.
The little monkey man guy. You know me, I like Solo. I think
You do
Solo's
like
very,
Solo
very good.
very much,
I wish Solo would have been a series, and I think there's still hope. That I think they're like, we like the actors for this. Maybe let's do like another mini series to finally connect up to where New Hope is. And I think that's a good idea. Instead of a Solo 2, it's like Solo the series, and I think that'll be so fun.
Yeah, I agree. So as we move on, what did you think in general about this year's D23? Now, there's still some Disney stuff we got to get into, but all in all, the convention itself, the news that dropped, and we did kind of get that confirmation that it looks like, at least right now, Sony and Marvel aren't going to be making.
Up.
Yeah,
They're
they're going through a break.
Unless it still could be a very good ploy of just like, man, we're hyping y'all up. Oh no! Oh wait, snap, he's back. But the way it sounds, the way everyone's talking, everyone's kind of gotten on board with the, you know what, it just didn't work out, and we're gonna finish off our Tom Holland series. I don't know. Here's the thing. There's a lot of time still. There's no rush for this decision because, like, to think the next Spider-Man involved project won't even go to production for like more than a year.
Nobody's thinking about how long the next.
Like, it's so long away. Tom Holland's gonna go off and do so many things that like. So many things could happen. Sony can be like almost bankrupt again. Or Sony can come out and make the best Spider-Man movie ever. Because like I said, I still think that the two Tom Holland Spider-Man movies aren't up for the best Spider-Man movie. I still think the best Spider-Man movie is either Spider-Man 1 Sam Raimi or Spider-Man 2 Sam Raimi.
Oh, interesting.
So
and
that's
obviously
like so for
Spider-Verse.
me it's like it's not like Sony still has. I think I've kind of, as more I mature, I feel like Spider-Man 2 is the greatest Spider-Man film ever.
Yeah.
And then Into the Spider-Verse. So I'm like, Sony has the two best Spider-Man films.
Yeah, no, they
Yes,
definitely have.
as a series, it hasn't gone well. The longer they've gone. But overall, they have two of my favorite Spider-Man films. And then I would throw in Far Far From Home. But then I would probably throw in The Amazing Spider-Man over Homecoming, even though I'm wrong. But even if you switch it, like, Marvel has one movie in the top 3, Sony has 2. I trust Sony can do something when it comes to making one more movie. And now you can play with Venom and Miles Morales. Like, if you're a Spider-Man nerd, you probably want to say it's Sony. Because then you're going to get the crossovers you want.
Well, if it were up to me, I would have my cake and eat it too.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would be great,
Like,
Mike. You have hold on. There's
you're
cake?
asking, yeah. Well, you're asking me, like, as the fan, like, that's what I wanted. I wanted him to be in an Avengers movie, and I want him to have his own
I want
universe.
Venom to come with them.
Yeah,
Avengers
I want
movie.
all of it to be together.
Like,
but
you know how Black Panther walks out with his crew? I want Spider-Man,
To have his
Miles,
crew,
and
yeah.
Venom walking out together.
But with all that being said, like, I still do think Sony is still a major movie company. They do still make good movies.
I mean, yeah.
It's still Tom Holland. They'll still find great directors. He's still a great Spider-Man.
I appreciate them standing up to Marvel.
But to
too.
be honest with you, as we get ready for our next pick, just to kind of put this all together, his story's kind of done in the MCU.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to move on.
I think he needs more with other characters, and those characters are at Sony that Marvel doesn't have.
And we are on the clock. We are pick
Give me a
105.
receiver. What we got?
We can go tight end or receiver. Now, I think we should go wide receiver right now and tight end in the next one just for...
Well, let's see the name. Give me the name.
so
real
the
quick.
top two wide receivers would be Dante Moncrief or Emmanuel Sanders.
Let's go Moncrief. We've been
I
like
agree.
saying
We've been
his
talking his
name.
name.
Might
Let's
as well.
just drop him. Yeah.
I think he'll be big with Big
Moncrief,
Ben.
one more
Yeah.
thing. So next time around, do you want to go tight end? Just get it over with.
Yeah, but I need tell me unless someone else gets
All
picked.
right, so it looks as of right now, Austin Hooper, Trey Burton, Kyle Rudolph, Delaney Walker, Jordan Reed.
I like Delaney Walker.
Right
I
at
don't
that
like
pick
Hooper.
is-
Hooper's on his way down. He's gonna have a worse season.
I
think Delaney Walker is gonna be one of their number one receivers because that O line is so bad.
Yeah.
and they have a
baby
questionable
blanket.
running back game.
Yeah, yep.
He's gonna get short, nice passes.
Totally
I
agree.
think he's gonna be our best option at this point.
And I'll be honest with you, you want to know who else I kind of
Who you
like? Jack Doyle. Even though he lost
Man, you read
Andrew
my
Luck.
mind. But again,
Yeah.
he will get the. Man,
Jacoby's
you read
gonna
my
throw-
mind.
yeah, Jacoby's
I'll
gonna
go
give him-
Delaney, but if he was taken,
Yeah.
I
agree.
don't mind Doyle as a backup because I
Okay.
feel like if you can get Doyle super late and
Yeah.
have a 1-2 punch,
Yeah.
I don't mind doing a 1-2 tight end
Now,
punch.
the one person that I feel you can save one last draft pick for is
Greg Olsen?
Greg Olsen.
Man, we
Yeah,
know tight ends, dude. Yeah.
so-
I have Greg Olsen. He's
Yeah.
my backup tight end. Because if he comes out and he's healthy,
Yeah.
he's one of the best tight ends in the game.
With that-
he's
with
Greg
Christian
Olsen's
McCaffrey, yeah.
favorite receiver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
With
Cam Newton's receiver. Greg
yeah,
Olsen is
yeah,
Cam Newton.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you risk late? It's like AJ Green or any of these people. You're like, why not risk it?
You know who's-
I almost picked up Kareem Hunt at one point, guys.
You know who's being a
But I'm not you.
But yeah, you know who's a
Ray
really
Rice.
interesting, speaking of some possible character issues, you know who's interesting to be picking up right now at pick 112 if possible? Adrian Peterson.
Oh, no, again, if you can get these guys late, it could be Adrian Peterson's last hurrah. And if he drops out with like 700 yards and a few touchdowns, that's huge.
Yeah.
As a backup running back, and maybe you start him one game against the worst team in the NFL, why not, right?
I agree.
If you see him, you're like, man, like, I got a tough weekend for my boys. Adrian Peterson's playing the worst run defense in the league. On a Sunday night game or a Sunday afternoon, maybe I should run AP a little
And
bit.
then you just stack
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I especially
Oh, he just went.
because
Yeah,
people,
people
it's-
knew, yeah,
like I
yeah.
said, I think if you're so fixated on being the genius at this point,
Yeah.
you're not doing it right.
No,
this
you're
is
thinking
where you
about
take
potential.
chances.
Yeah, you
potential, you take chances. You take that rookie you think is going to start now.
Yep.
Take an AP. Take a Larry Fett. Like, take someone like, hey, he switched teams. Deshaun Jackson may miss game one, but that boy is fast, though. Let me grab
He'll
him
get
real
somewhere
quick.
if you can
Why
get him at the right place.
not?
But that's how I've been drafting this year. That's why I haven't been worried about. That's why I feel running backs this year are much more of a commodity than other years because the wide receivers are now we're gonna find out who that tier of wide receiver is. This
You
is
also
that
have
season.
no flex. So I think you're in a little tougher position
Yeah.
without a flex player where you're like, my starters have to be on point, so I got to make sure I go maybe like that. Instead of I have 5 receivers, I can start 3 of them.
And we just want to thank you all so much so far for joining us on this crossover,
Good
this major
Brothers.
event of the Good Brothers and Sports from the Couch. If you're listening to the podcast of the
Brothers
Good
from the
Brothers,
Couch?
thank you. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you so much. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us on Sports from the Couch. The podcast is the Good Brothers, and we are about 18 seconds away from pick 112. We are on the clock now. We are going to go Delaney Walker.
Yeah, buddy.
And for all you who are listening to us for the Good Brothers, it is now time as we draft Delaney Walker.
Yeah,
we
buddy.
have some time. Good brother, it is time. The trailer that dropped, that shook the road for 2 days before another trailer came out. Good brother,
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Clone.
Oh
clone,
my goodness.
clone.
All right, so everybody's watched the trailer. My point is I love the lead up
The legacy
to
trailer.
legacy
Yeah.
leading up to it. And then let's just get into the moment everybody's talking about. Evil Ray. Let's make our guesses now. We're only a few months away from the movie.
Mike, we're the Colts of Lord Harloff, and
Yes.
we're going to go with the official pick for us. There's clones involved.
I think totally there's clones
Mike,
because
we agree that.
they've been talking about it for it's been in the ether too long.
I don't know if she's a clone confused or if there's another Ray she has
What
to
if this
fight.
is a dream sequence in the beginning?
Lame.
This is her
I'd be
her
pissed.
inner thing coming out.
No, that's the more. That's not a dumb pick. That's like, well, if it's not that, it's that.
Yeah.
That's just a safe, boring pick.
I think that's a safe
which
pick,
they can
yeah.
easily do.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think it's J.J. Abrams, and I think had Ryan Johnson done this movie, it would have been more of that because that speaks more to inner thing.
The
I think J.J.
philosophical-
Abrams is going the sci-fi version of, well, Star Wars is all about clones, guys. Like the troops are clones of Boba Fett.
Right.
Or not Boba Fett. Boba Fett's dad.
Boba Fett's dad.
So you know what I mean? Like it's always been about clones. Like it's a huge part of it. And to think, why is she so strong? Like you start asking questions, you're like, that makes the most sense. Is how did Ray pick it up so fast? Why is she so strong? Why does she have memories that aren't hers? Well, because she's a clone of Palpatine and the Skywalkers, and why is she so close to Leia? And Leia, they said, plays a huge role in this.
Which is interesting.
So
'cause
I'm
we do know
thinking
that,
she's a
that-
Skywalker mixed with Palpatine, and it's supposed to be this. I think we get Kylo's redemption knowing this. I think he's the one that saves her.
Can you redeem? Can you redeem or give redemption
Like,
to
Darth
Kylo?
Vader blew up a planet and killed his
Like, they didn't kill Han Solo. He did not kill Han
yeah,
Solo.
but still, man.
I mean, when he killed Obi-Wan, it was not the
anyone can be
Obi-Wan we know
redeemed.
now.
Anyone can be redeemed. Look at Prison Break. The rapist becomes the best character in the show, Mike.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, what did you
Hold
think
my
about the
pocket.
trailer?
I love the trailer. I think the trailer's great. I hope that's a planet full of Ewoks.
Yeah.
If it's not a planet full of Ewoks, I'm going to storm the theater. I can't wait. We're Star Wars nerds. That's pretty obvious. Anything Star Wars. I have never seen a Star Wars movie I didn't like. I love the prequels.
Talk to me. Talk to me about what do you think? You threw me off a little bit about that.
Sorry.
Talk to me. What do you think about the ending? How they're pushing this as a saga ending. Do you really believe that we are about to go on somewhat of an episodic break?
Yeah, because I think the next 3 movies are going to be in the past.
Really?
Prequels again, but Old Republic. I mean, again, the worst kept secret. It's Old Republic
Yeah,
style.
yeah,
It's Old
yeah.
Republic style. It's Old Republic style. We're going to fall in love with new characters that aren't Skywalkers or anything like that.
That's gonna be so hard. This is what scares me
Because
about
that's
Game of
when we're
Thrones.
gonna
and
get
this
our
one.
male, another new male. Because we haven't had, like, obviously, I love Rey. I think Rey's great for this franchise. We haven't had a male lead Jedi in a long time, basically. Because technically, Anakin's Darth Vader.
Sure.
And now we get Obi-Wan back.
So,
but Obi-Wan's
since Ewan
no.
McGregor.
We haven't got a new one or
new
like
one,
a new
yeah.
character that we've never heard of. Because even if it's in the past, so I'm excited to see like who's that Jedi that we're gonna get learn some history for. Because you know me, I've always wanted a young Yoda. Because
Yeah.
I feel like I'm all for more Yoda. And Yoda's old enough that he could be in any movie because he ages so long. Same with Chewbacca and all them. But no, I'm excited. I think it's going to be held in the past, and we're going to get either 3 or 6 more movies out of it. Or they might say, let's stick to trilogies and let's make an Old Republic trilogy, and then let's go another 1,000 years here, and then we can keep going. And then you go to super future now. Because technically, Star Wars is in the past, people.
Yeah,
Technically.
which is so crazy whenever we think about how they're going to put this whole thing together. It really interests me too. Like they connect episode 8 to 9 because of Rian Johnson, and how much is there going to be a disconnect? How much was this all planned? Are we going to be able to tell when Disney made the turn, or was there enough time where it's just going to seem very seamless? I thought this was an amazing trailer. I think Rey as a character, Daisy Ridley has come into her own. I think JJ knows these characters because he's the one that casted them and created them. And I hope that Finn has a bigger story. I hope Poe is the superstar that we know Oscar Isaac can be. I'm super excited for this
What
film.
was the best part of
Episode 8. Yeah, I
Last
totally
Jedi?
agree. Yeah, The
I
Last
think
Jedi.
so. I think he's one of the best parts of it.
So I love it, but I'll be honest with you, good brother. I loved it for about 48 hours until another trailer came out, and it's very rare.
Oscars.
It's so
Oscars.
rare when something comes out that's not only going to destroy the pop culture world for the positive, but is going to bum rush and bust into the party of Oscar season. We are talking about Todd Phillips' Joker starring Joaquin Phoenix with the second and final trailer. This movie, good brother, it's everything. It's Seven. It's Taxi Cab. It's The Dark Knight.
King of Comedy.
King of Comedy. It's everything. It's everything.
So here's something we'll tell the audience. This is this is the character, the Joker, the DC Joker. It's not in the DC universe. It's technically not. They want you to really know that this is not meant to be a prequel to a Batman movie. This is not meant to be anything more than what it is. It's a movie about the character, the Joker. The character, the Joker, has like 17 different versions, I would say. And out of those versions, probably like, I mean, a little exaggerated on that, obviously, but let's say like a nice solid 3 versions. They're trying to make a version of it, and I think it works. I think it's almost like when you look at like The Boys, or Boys. Was it The Boys? The Boys, right?
The Boys.
The
Yeah.
Boys.
It's The Boys.
Where it's like, this is the real world. Like, I could see this kind of man in the news of the world I live in. And I like that. There's a sense of realism to it. There's a sense of grittiness to it. And to make a Joker character even more gritty than Heath Ledger was, and almost more realistic, it's interesting. And I can't wait. And I do think it's going to get a lot of Oscar love overall. I think he's going to get a lot of Oscar love, if not the Oscar, from just the trailers alone.
So this is the best way. I think you did a wonderful job of explaining people how DC, Todd Phillips, and everybody behind it are trying to promote this movie. I think it's really important also to distinguish for all you who only know Jack Nicholson as the Joker, or Heath Ledger's Joker,
Or sadly, Jared Leto.
or maybe Mark Hamill.
Star
But here's the
Wars.
thing: there are so many versions of the Joker, and if you're looking for the one Joker to dive deep into, you're looking for some lore, I highly suggest, this is one of my favorite comics, from Brian Azzarello and art by Jeff Bermejo. It is just Joker. That's all it's called, and it's a picture of him smiling. That's the cover. And the big thing about this one, good brother, is Joker in that one is not only a sociopath, he's a psychopath, but he's a real one. It's what would a gangster do if he was the Joker? And we're talking
It's
about
the one through his assistant, right? Where
he
his
rapes his
assistant's driving
assistant.
him
Yeah,
around.
it's one of he rapes his assistant's wife. He kills a bunch of gangbangers.
Yeah,
He's just
like
walking up out of it.
just like very real grittiness to it. I remember this.
And
yeah.
this Joker is that, except it's much more of what would Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver be like if he put on some face paint. And I think Joaquin Phoenix, I'm putting my money on right now. Joaquin Phoenix is going to win Best Actor. I'm putting my money on it right now. I'm willing to put it on there. I think he's grabbed the zeitgeist.
I mean, right now
It's hard, I know,
I
but-
mean, let's be honest. What are we? We're about to be in
We're about
September.
September.
Let's say, when does this movie come out? Around
October.
then? October. I don't see any actors right now that are standing out.
Tom Hanks, only for Mr. Rogers, has been the one that.
but like that's come a movie that's come out already.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, it came out,
besides
yeah.
Taylor Egerton,
Yeah.
possibly. I don't see anyone else. Yeah, not right now. He's the only one that I can see getting announced, and that's a good sign for Joaquin. That because I mean, there are years where like you're like, oh man, James McAvoy's in the conversation, and this might not have happened, but some movies drop. I don't think as an actor yet, there's been a movie that's come out that's like crazy. Yes, that's gonna get a nomination guaranteed. Beside Taylor Egerton as Elton John,
So, what are you expecting from this movie when you leave?
greatness.
Yeah, but do you think it's gonna crush you in
I think
some
it's gonna
way?
be dark. I think it's like I said, it's gonna be dark. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be one of those movies that you're smiling because it's so good.
This
and
is-
so messed up.
And this is a one and done.
Yes.
There won't be a sequel. You
No,
don't think?
no.
How much you think this movie makes in the box office as we get closer?
Probably a little over 100.
I don't think so. I think
October,
this is a $60 million
Joker.
movie.
So you think 60?
I think it opens up at 60, which is great for this movie, but I think it opens up at 60. I think it's a $400 million movie.
We've never
altogether.
seen a Joker standalone.
Nope.
And Joker's one of the most loved characters, most advertised characters. I'm saying over 100. You're saying under, I'm saying over. You want to just go there, make that the line?
Yeah.
So
I
if
agree.
it gets 99, you win technically?
Well,
even if it
yeah,
gets 80,
I
you
guess,
win
yeah.
technically?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that over.
Or you
yeah.
want to do within 20 or something?
No, we could do within. Yeah, let's do it a little closer.
So I say 100. So if it makes 80 to 120, it's mine.
Yeah.
If it makes 40 to 80, it's yours.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's a little bit
Wanna go
better.
that?
Yeah.
I like it.
All right, good brother. We are about 2 picks away from kind of finishing up the draft. We're about to be in round. We're finishing up round 11. We're going to be starting round 12.
Is Bears there? Get the Bears.
Bears defense is gone.
Get the Bears.
I would say here we would go running back again. And
Another running back.
I
Get
mean,
a
again,
receiver.
well, again, like you can only play 2 wide receivers.
You want to play two running backs?
Yeah, but like running backs get hurt, wide receivers don't. So like
You
how
only got
often
4 running
how
backs,
often
don't
are
you,
you
though?
gonna? Yeah, but how often are you gonna play different wide receivers compared to running backs?
Nah, get a quarterback. Get a kicker.
Another one. Here are just the wide receivers that you would have right now: Michael Gallup, Kiki Cutie, Cortland Sutton, Anthony Miller, and Devin Funches. So again, like that's the point, though. It's like the wide receiver that's going to end up covering for your team when you need him the most, when Devontae Adams is on bye, is not on your roster anyway.
Yeah. I'm gonna divert to you. I don't love it, but I will.
I would either go Jalen Samuels or Naeem Hines. Jalen Samuels from Pittsburgh is James Conner's backup. He was the one that went off the last few weeks. Naeem Hines is the pass catching running back from Indianapolis. And here's the thing: I think
Yeah.
Indianapolis is going to be behind, so he's going to be the one that gets more of the ball than Marlon Mack.
No, let's go Pittsburgh. Connor on a
Just
sophomore year
so you have
slump.
all their names though: Royce Freeman, Devin Singletary, Kalen Ballage, Ronald Jones, Deion Lewis, and Damian Harris.
Yeah, I like go with your instinct.
Jalen Samuels. Okay. All right, good brother. Finally, before we wrap this bad boy up, All Out is coming to our wonderful city this weekend. The hype has kind of gone away, and I want to know what you think as we're heading into October with this new AEW show coming around. I mean, we were so excited about Joker, this trailer coming out, and then we have this that just kind of, as time has gone closer, has a little, at least to us, been a little bit lackluster. So, what do you think about All Out coming into our city, second year here, their biggest show?
I love it. I think they do great single shows. I'm with Ryan said on the fact I want to see them on week 15 of their weekly show. If this is good, if this is TNA, if this is El Rey, Lucha stupidness that you liked, that was dumb and I knew would never last, I want to see, or is this actually competitive? So I'm very interested to see not where you are week one, because you're probably going to kill it. You always killed it in Chicago. Your Firefest was not very good. Like
Firefest was not good.
They've already, but I like that. Get it out of the way. Like that, all the pay-per-views aren't going to be hits, especially these little ones you're testing out. It was mostly for charity anyway, honestly. Like, it was only televised because it was the people doing it, like the way they were. But realistically, it wasn't meant to be. Like, it wasn't a show put together to grab the masses. It was meant as charity, so I appreciate that. But yeah, I want to see them on week 15 because I know they're going to kill it here. Pac and all them, like, they're going to do great. Punk's out. They're going to be fine.
Yeah.
John Moxley, heel, hurry up.
Yeah.
Get back soon. Get well soon. But I want to see this conversation in 3 more months. Around Christmas. I want to see around Christmas where we're at. Or starting the new year. Are we competitive? Or, because I'll be honest right now, I'd rather watch NXT on that night.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch NXT still. Because I love NXT. Like, that was probably the best option you could have made. Because I don't want to skip. Like, I only don't watch NXT because it's not live. And it doesn't matter. I'll read the spoilers. It's live now. Now I kind of want to watch it and record it and watch that night. AEW is probably going to be the second to that. If it was on a night with SmackDown, I'd probably go AEW first because I already know what's going to happen on SmackDown. I love NXT. It's the best part of wrestling usually for WWE. I'm probably going to watch that first every night.
I'm really interested also to see how the social media reaction is come that Saturday when we have both of NXT TakeOver UK and we have All Out. What's the reaction for the stream? Is Bleacher Report Live going to be better than it was for Fyter Fest? Yeah. That's a big thing. Say what you will about WWE, at least their streams, for the most part, work, even though when they like to buffer every once in a while. Yeah. The point is, though, is like it works, and they're working on the UI of it.
Get better internet.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Good, brother. We are going to be on the final pick of this combination crossover episode before we head on out. So we're about 50 seconds away from our pick coming out. Let me ask you this. Yeah. How does what is it about fantasy football that excites you? Not only is it that you love football, but what about fantasy football? Is it that entertains you? Why we were able to do a crossover episode like this? The excitement of a live draft, as we're also talking about culture.
I think it's someone everyone can get into. Because, like, everyone's got a work league, right? Men, women, children. Like, everyone does this.
Pools or something.
It's
even
gambling. It's fun. It's even better now. There's even more reason to watch more games in football. It's almost an excuse of sorts. Like, why? I need to watch Seattle versus Arizona. Guys, I got Russell Wilson. I need to watch this random game on Thursday night. What?
Greg Olsen went off the board.
Yeah, of course he did.
We're actually on the board right now. We could go wide receiver and make yourself feel a little bit better just so we have one more.
Nah, go ahead. I'm a default too.
You
ruined it.
Just to let you know, there is Devin Funchess, who will be Cam Newton's number one if he's healthy. That's the number one wide receiver over in.
I don't want to because I think the rookie DJ is going to really come on and be the number one because he's not hurt.
Oh, DJ
and
Moore?
He's huge.
Yeah. Anthony Miller for the Bears, even though it would be Allen Robinson. Yeah. Kiki QT for Houston, who's actually kind of hurt right now.
No,
and Michael Gallup from. So then, if you go down to quarterbacks. Just to show you, let's see if
get Baker.
Baker's been gone all the time.
Is Derek there still?
Derek Carr's still there.
Grab Derek Carr.
You want Derek Carr?
Yeah, I do.
All right,
frat style. I do want Derek Carr.
All right, we're gonna use Derek Carr with the 137th pick. Are you sure? There's no going back.
No, I mean I'll default to you, but if you're
all right, you know what? We're gonna come back to Derek Carr.
Yeah, that's my fun pick. Yeah. But I want a good team, Mike. So I'm gonna. That's why you get to make these choices because I'll do something stupid like that, especially midway through a draft I wasn't involved in and I don't see the board. Yeah, don't listen to me on that. I just wanted a frat boy like Derek Carr because he does arm day.
Yeah, and he puts oil on himself. Good, brother. why don't you wrap up the Good Brother portion of this crossover event for us? Any last thoughts you want to hit on home? Anything you want to tell the fans before we get on? Labor Day is coming up. Happy Labor Day to everybody.
Yeah,
Make
have
sure
a
you guys
good day
don't jump. Coming out this weekend, nothing big from what I remember.
It's next weekend.
It's next weekend, so we'll have a deep dive on
A
it. Chapter
preview,
2.
all
We'll
that,
talk about all that fun stuff. We'll also talk about previewing Bears versus Packers on Thursday
Bears.
night. What it means for television,
Bears.
football coming back, fantasy football, and all that nonsense. We will have a breakdown of all out,
You
a
pissed me off
reaction.
because we need the Packers to score some touchdowns. Mike.
We do, yeah.
But I have the Bears defense.
It's the worst part
So what
about
are you
fantasy
doing to me,
football.
Mike?
It's the
I
worst part.
need the Bears to shut out every week.
This is the first time I've really been into fantasy football, and the Bears have been good at
Sucks,
the same
Mike.
time.
I
It's
don't
the
know what
worst.
to do with my life here because I have the Bears defense in my big leagues. So I'm going to need them to shut out the entire season. I have 17 fumbles.
For the good brother himself, Alex
Yeah.
Mercado, I'm Mike Mercado. Thank you so much for not only joining us on the podcast edition
Sports
of
Brothers from the couch.
of the Good Brothers, but for also joining us on the YouTube version of Sports from the Couch. We will do a few more draft picks off mic and off camera. You guys could just watch it right here. Thank you all so much on the podcast edition of the Good Brothers for keeping up with us. We're going to put timestamps if you want to listen to us, and hopefully you learned a little something during the interjection. The Good Brother and I think we did a good job of making sure that we kept going with our thoughts, put a nice pause on the episode, and continued on with the conversation. Let us know what you thought about this crossover. But for the Good Brother himself, Alex Mercado, I'm Mike Mercado. You've been joining us here on The Good Brothers and Sports from the Couch
Good Brothers from the Couch Sports
on the Mercado Airwaves
Network.